Coming up on today's show.
A day without art is like a day without sunshine. Yeah, and so I started asking the Lord what He wanted me to paint, and He began to pour images in my head about the battle of the flesh and the spirit. So I just started painting them as they came in my head, and after about, I don't know, 2, 3 years, I had nearly 2 dozen works of art. It's so rewarding when they walk in and see their loved ones and just go, that just.
Yes. Hi there, I'm April Paige, breaking down the what, when, where, and how creatives get their inspiration. I'm a big fan of the cursey words, and I've been a creative for 30 plus years in marketing and fine art. This is where creatives unite to break down the facts of creative life. Buckle up, let's get lost in the world of creativity together. Welcome everyone to Artist Antics with April, where we talk to creatives about creativity. And today I'm very excited to sit down to talk to artist and writer Elaine Bankston. Welcome, Elaine.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Elaine's studio and home are Midlothian, Virginia.
Yes.
She was a flight attendant from 1968 for 22 years with Eastern Airline, then 9 months with US Air, and then a flight attendant for 5 years with a private jet company called Millionaire, where on one of her flights she served Gorbachev, which I have some questions about. At 27, she began studying portrait painting privately in Atlanta and New York City. She has painted over 2,000 portraits, God bless you, with pieces in public and private collections and within 10 plus museums. She has taught in both public and private schools, art institutions, and a volunteer at the Pocahontas Women's Prison. And she now teaches art on cruise ships around the world, where brings her to her country count of 58. I don't even know if that's still right.
I
And
didn't catch that last thing.
your country count is 58.
Oh, yeah, 60
Okay.
actually.
And written 2 books, Farm Girl Takes Flight and Life Choices. And lastly, I'm honored that this is her first time recording on a podcast on screen. So welcome, Elaine. Thank you so, so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So I have 3 sections I want to talk to you about. I want to ask you a few flight attendant questions, and we'll get into painting and writing. But I can't help myself after reading your bio. I just want to hear from someone who's kind of lived it. What do you think of the changes you've seen over the years? And I know that's a big question,
Oh
but
my.
briefly, I just wanted to hear, what pops out for you as far
Oh
as the
my. Oh
airlines.
my
Yeah.
goodness.
And I
It's
know that's a
totally
loaded
different.
question.
When
Yeah.
I graduated training school, we were the last class to wear the hat and the white gloves,
Oh boy.
and only the rich and famous could fly. I mean, people that were either on business or
Yeah.
pleasure, and we all dressed up in the Sunday best. And yeah, it's a lot different now.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
can imagine. I know you mentioned that you were over NYC for 9/11, and I wanted to just hear your thoughts on that day. I mean, I know it was bleak for the whole country, but I can't even imagine being in the air. So I'd like to just hear about that before we get into the creativity of it all.
Well, that was my last day with US Air because my mother begged me not to go back. But
Oh,
we
wow.
were in the air when my pilot saw the first plane hit while we're still in the air, and they didn't tell me till we got on the ground. I saw the second plane hit, saw the towers crumble, stranded up there for a week, and it was devastating. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was on the phone with my mother. I don't worry, mother, and here comes the siren screaming by my phone. So no, she begged me not to go back. That was my last uh, commercial flight, and then I did private charter work after that.
Yeah, no. Well, thank you for your service, and I'm sure that was, a good decision. I probably would have done the same after that. That's just a horrific event for so many people.
It was
Yeah,
totally, yes.
prayers out to them still. I know there's a lot of families still going through it. But so, on a happier note, I would like to get into what got you interested in portrait painting. I love to hear, like a lot of my guests on the show, we talk about who supported us, who inspired us, who kind of promoted us into becoming creative, and painting or whatever, the medium is. So I just love to hear the inspiration story.
My school didn't have art classes, and so it wasn't until I became a flight attendant and started traveling around the world and standing in front of the Mona Lisa, I was inspired to do art at 27. And I just loved art, anything art. It didn't matter. One show I got a Gutsy Award for displaying so many different styles and mediums. So I thought, what could I do art that I could make some money at? And I thought, well, people would like paintings of their loved ones, or official paintings, or whatever. So that's why I did so many portrait paintings. Yeah, yeah.
Very
And then I
good.
did, of course, pet paintings and home paintings, and just anything art. With A day without art is like a day without sunshine.
Yeah, amen to that.
I think we
I
agree on
agree.
that.
Yes, for sure. So it sounds like your, flight attendant travel really exposed you to all the great works and that inspired you. Like that's
Absolutely.
really a great story.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
it seems you were working, unless I'm misunderstanding, while you were learning how to paint and doing
Yes.
commissions. So
Yes.
I always talk about this on the show. I'd like to hear about how you balance work and your creativity. Like, how did that work?
Well, I was really blessed, and I give God the glory for giving me the ability to do art. But when I started getting serious about it, I had so much seniority as a flight attendant. I could take personal leaves. Like by the time my children started coming, I could take like 9 months. I only had to work like 3 months in the summer, so I had plenty of time, and I did a lot of outdoor shows. So I've been blessed, truly
Wow,
blessed. Yeah,
that's great. So you
yeah,
had a that job that gave you the space in order to do what you loved on during those 9 other months. So that's great.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So what is your process in painting? Like I know what mine is, and I just like to hear the steps from like when you get the call, from discussion to initial mock-ups to where you go with the final. So I just like to hear that whole process.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've done a lot of outdoor shows, and so when a person commissions me to do a painting, I like to take my own pictures, and I'll call them out, and we'll take a group of pictures, and then I'll do an initial sketch. I'll call them back out to approve the sketch, and just go from there. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they?
And then after all these years of doing art, portraits, after like 30, I don't know, 40 years of doing art, I finally started asking the Lord what He wanted me to paint.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'll tell you more about the life choices now if you wish, or I can
sure,
hold that
sure.
till later. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I started asking the Lord what He wanted me to paint, and He began to pour images in my head about the battle of the flesh and the spirit. So I just started painting them as they came in my head, and after about, I don't know, 2, 3 years, I had nearly 2 dozen works of art. And recently, I invited a professor and a curator from the gallery over at Liberty University out to see my work. And he and his wife came one summer day, and I offered to donate some of these paintings, and he gladly took them. So 33 of my artworks recently went to Liberty University for their permanent collection. So I'm thrilled about that.
That's awesome. And we'll put some of those pictures up. But so the battle of the flesh and the spirit, I want to talk to you about that. So is that portraiture or abstract?
It's a little bit figures, and a storytelling. It's like in the center is this person that's torn. So you kind of have to start in the center and look to see what her choices are. Which way is she going to go?
Right.
And we all have those choices, and we have to make
Oh,
those decisions.
that's right.
Yeah.
Life presents them daily, I feel.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
so I'm curious with the portraiture in particular, like how much how much say did the people commissioning you have, and how they were sitting or what side
Oh,
they
yeah.
had, like
Well,
how did that go?
when they come, we talk about that, what they want to capture, and I give them what I call their picking session. But there it's satisfaction guaranteed. I haven't had any return, and I just love pleasing the people, and I've done deceased people, and it's so rewarding when they walk in and see their loved ones and just go, that just,
Yes.
thank you, Lord. Thank you,
Yeah.
Lord.
You want them to feel something.
Yes.
I've had
And the
that.
eyes will follow you in most of the portraits that I do, because I take photographs too. So if you walk from one side of the room to the other side, the eyes will follow you. And they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. There's a
Yeah.
lot of truth in that.
Yeah, for sure. So in
Yeah.
your process, I know in mine, when I do commissions, I do like a third, a third, and a third. So
Yes. Yes.
as far as payments, and I
Uh-huh.
just want to, and also approval, but I
Yes.
just want to hear from you. Do you wait till the end, or how does that work for what you?
Oh, well, initially the down payment is a third, and then upon the first viewing, that's a third, and then upon pickup, that's the final. But
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you about the most notable person that I've ever painted is Oliver Hill.
Oh,
And he was one of the attorneys in Brown versus the Board of Education. And I went to his 100th birthday party, and he sat live for the portrait. So I was commissioned by University of Richmond to do the first one. Did I one for the Library of Virginia, the DA's office, a Moton Museum, Library of History. Recently, at Howard University, it was installed for the 70th anniversary of Brown versus the Board of Education. So I've
wow.
been blessed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how did that work? Like, as far as promotion goes, because I'm a senior marketer, so I'm curious by nature. Like, did it build upon itself because of who you painted in the past? And
I believe so. Yes.
like, so it was more word of mouth. You didn't really have to promote.
No, I still did my shows, but
Okay.
I have a brochure, and I have him in the center of the brochure, so
Right.
people can't miss it. But on
Right.
the front, I have a full length portrait of my daughter. She was a pianist, and I have a full length picture of her painting I did. That's like, I don't know, 3 by 4 foot or 5 foot. I don't know. I haven't thought about that, but anyway, I'm blessed.
So, what about the art shows? Because I'll tell you how I feel, and you tell me what your experience is. I did it like 5 years ago before I moved to Raleigh. I was doing art shows in Florida, and
Oh,
all of the juried shows that there were, and it was always a crapshoot for me. Like, the shows I thought I would do well in, I ended up not selling at all. And the sleepy ones that I thought, oh my God, why did I even decide to do this show? Is the ones that I end up, knocking it out of the park. So I'm just curious, like, how you feel about the art show circuit, indoors and galleries. Like, I'd like to
oh,
know
I'm
that.
glad you asked,
Yeah.
because the first show I did, I had visions of selling out. I'm going to sell out. Well, guess what? I didn't sell one piece.
That's right.
And years after that, years and years, I was like, you know, kind of aggressively trying to draw people in. And I mean, it's very taxing. And
Yes.
then finally, after years of doing art shows, I said, Lord, you send by who you want to send by. It's all in
Oh,
your hands. Put it in his hands and let him, it will relax you. It will just make everything peaceful and calm.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what I do. I just trust in the Lord to do it.
Yeah. And I'm not doing the shows. I've made a concerted effort. I just launched in October because it's been a side gig of mine for 20 years. And so now I'm making it my full-time gig and stepping out. But I have a hard time with galleries too. I'd like to get your thoughts on that because they want at least 50% in most cases. And you
Yeah,
can't bump up your prices on your website or anything like that because they have to be the same or you're undercutting, right? And then they won't come to
exactly.
me directly
Yeah.
to buy. So just wondering how you feel about galleries as well.
Well, approaching a gallery is uh, can be frustrating. I mean, I've done many galleries, and I found one that I really liked downtown Richmond on the main street there. And she and I worked well together, and it was on first Fridays, and she had a little entertainment section, and my choices theory got the most attention. It was close to VCU, and the students would come in there and study my work. And she said the owner would ask everybody when they left the gallery, well, what did you like? And I mean, she had a lot of artists in there. And they said they liked my life choices series because it moved them. It stirred some emotion in them. It made them
Right.
think. Yeah.
And is that what you were talking about when you were saying the battle between flesh and spirit?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
It speaks to them.
yeah, and I want to get into the writing part of it in just a second, but I want to hear from you, like, what or who inspires you for your portraiture in particular?
Um, oh, I've done so many. It's hard to nail down just one.
No,
I
I
did
don't
a,
mean when you've done. I mean, like, who inspires you that is another artist? Or
oh,
do you get
Mary
inspiration?
Cassatt. Mary
Okay.
Cassatt. I love the impressionistic. Yeah, Degas. I like him. I like
Yeah.
Renoir.
Yeah.
The Impressionists. I love them. But when I first started painting and I didn't have any training and nothing, I gravitated towards Rembrandt because I didn't know how to mix paint. I hadn't really experimented with that, and so I went more towards the monochromatic paintings. And there's a
Yeah.
lot to be said for. I will also do like settings for like when a Santa come to the mall. I would go and paint children's quick portraits, little
Oh, I
quick
see.
sketches.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's fun. Yeah, when I think of Rembrandt, I think of light, like he was a master of light
light
with
and dark.
and
Yes.
dark. Yeah. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense as far as portraiture
There's a
goes.
lot to be said about charcoal because color doesn't get in the way, and
Hmm.
I like that. I like charcoal, pastel, oil pastel, watercolor. Oh, and I did all of those others first, and then when I was asked to teach art on the cruise ship, they wanted watercolor, and I hadn't done watercolor yet, and I'm going like,
Oh,
oh my
wow.
gosh, I've got to learn how to do that quick. So I did, and watercolor and pen and ink. I just love it all.
So your portraits now, what do you use? Is it oil?
Uh, Both oil and soft pastel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense. There's so many tools out there now. It's kind of overwhelming, but I use the fast drying oils, which, for those listening to us that don't know about oil paint, fast drying means 48 to 72 hours to dry as
Oh
opposed to
yes,
a week or two
yes, yeah. I
between
love
layers.
mixing the oils. I
Yeah.
guess it just if I'm painting on my own something, it depends on how fast I need to get it done.
Right. Yeah, no,
Pastels
it's
are fast.
true. Timing is everything. And I had to learn patience, which is not a core competency of mine. And because if you go in too fast, you'll take off the paint if it's not dry as far as oils, and then there's a hole there that you can never fix. So I had to learn to be patient and wait for the dry time in between the layers because I felt, and I don't know if you agree with this, I could get more of a feeling and more of a atmosphere, I guess is the way to put it, with oil paints that I couldn't with anything else, because of the layering,
Yes, I
Yeah.
love the oils, and like you say, it takes a drying process. And so when I started having my children, I switched to more soft pastels, which lend a real softness for children's portraits that I love.
Yeah.
But for official portraits, definitely.
Yeah.
And
For
I wish I,
official one, how long does it take you?
well, it depends. Like the Oliver Hill, the first one, I also had his hands in there. It was the big one too. Um, it depends. Some jump on there, and others it's blood, sweat, and tears. You just never
Yeah,
know till you get into it.
I usually say like at least a month, maybe longer.
Well,
Depends
I
on.
usually tell them pastel would take 2 to 3 months, depending, just head and shoulders, and an oil could take 6 to months, or longer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we just a head and shoulder.
Yeah, no, it's about the push and pull too. I feel like, they want you to do your thing, but they also want it right away. And you're like, it takes time. These things take time.
That's right. That's
And
why it
yeah,
might cost a little bit more,
yeah, and if you
but
give
it's
me
worth it.
time to put the detail in it and get the layers in, you'll really have something. But if you want to rush it, then you're going to get what you get.
That's right. Yes,
So, yeah.
exactly. I agree with that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes with my abstracts, I use acrylics and different things, mediums on those just because I like the immediate gratification of it all. But
Yes.
all of the mediums have their goods and bads. As watercolor, like what you're saying, I couldn't do it at all. I was like, this is not my medium because of my patience level,
Uh-huh.
and you have to
Yeah.
learn how to work with it and then do the layering and
Yeah.
wait for things to dry there too in order to do some
Yeah.
layering. And
And like I don't know if you've ever worked in pastel, but
I
with
have.
pastel, if you hold that too long, it will take the oil out of your finger.
Yep.
Yeah. And
I
of
know
course,
exactly.
holding it in your hand too. Well, that could be true of holding the brush too. I
Yeah.
notice the older I get, the more my hands will kind of lock up, so to
Yeah, no,
speak.
for sure.
And
Yeah,
then
you
you have
gotta
to kind of, massage your fingers and get them
pace it
moving
out.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I tell my massage therapist. My right arm never gets a break because I'm either on my computer or on the canvas.
Yes. My
So,
husband just had cataract surgery this morning, and that reminds me of something that I want to share about eyesight. When I had my cataracts done, they wanted to put the same lens in both eyes. I'm going like, no, that's not going to work for me because I'm an artist and I have to look at my palette, which is down on the right. I have to look at my easel, which is straight ahead. I have to look at my sitter, which is way over there. So I had a special kind of lens put in for my eyes, and
wow.
I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, so you have one lens in one eye and one in the other.
Yes.
Wow. So, do you have to close one eye when you're doing that?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. Okay.
No.
Wow.
A little tip there.
It's what I tell everybody. Getting older is not for sissies.
Yeah. That's. Oh, you're still young.
I'm not that young.
Oh. Well, you fooled me.
um,
Yeah.
so let's get into the writing of it all. So what
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk about the farm girl to flight attendant book first and just talk about, what started you writing? What was the spark there?
Well, on all these well, my first trip out of the country, I went around the world on TWA for $199. And like I said, I just started traveling and enjoying the process, and I would keep a diary everywhere I went. And so I had this diary, and I had all this experience. So I just started writing the book and just putting down my experiences. And I'm so glad I wrote that diary because I could have never remembered everything that I
Right.
wrote. But it's called Farm Girl Takes Flight. My experiences growing up on the farm. I led a very secluded life the first 18 years. And then I joined the airlines. Of course, the whole world opened up.
Right.
And it was a very glamorous life. I mean, I had everything a young girl could want. Um, but I was searching, going nowhere. And
Yeah.
at the end of the book, it will tell you I met someone, and it will tell you how I
What
found true
happened?
happiness.
Yeah, no,
But then
that's
I want to also tell you that I have sent that book off to Angel Studio, and they replied that they want me to do a torch, which is like, I guess, a trailer. And
hmm
so now I'm in the process of researching, you know, someone to do this torch with all the process. And so I've set up a GoFundMe page there. And
Okay, we'll
I
put it
talked
in the
to,
description. Yeah.
oh, okay, I've talked to filmmakers, and they say that the title should have a hook. And so I've recently changed the title of the book to On a Wing and a Prayer,
Oh, good.
with
I
a
like it.
subtitle. The subtitle is It Could Have Been Worse. And all throughout the book, it has examples of it could have been worse. About 20
Yeah,
different times.
right. Yeah,
It, yeah,
you're
tells a little
being watched
story.
over when have those thoughts. But so did you get a book deal or did you shop what you got came
Oh,
together as a book?
no, it's on the Amazon now. I'm not
So you
saying I will never switch to a private publisher. That's in the works too. But for right now, it's on Amazon. Yeah,
right.
under On a Wing and a Prayer.
And you got the EIN and put it all together
ISBN, yes,
yourself. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. That's
I
great.
I should
Well, how
have it
ambitious are
right here.
you?
I'm sorry.
I said, how ambitious are you?
I just can't sit still, I guess.
Did you have an editor?
Yes. Oh, I had to. I'm really not that gifted at writing.
Okay.
No, my gift is art.
Yeah.
And like I say, my school didn't have art classes, so I was totally frustrated. They didn't teach to visual learners back then either.
Mm, yeah, I know, and they're getting rid of it now too.
Oh dear. Sorry to hear
Um,
that.
yeah, it's terrible. So I try to donate my time as a teacher. I've done some teaching with Montessori school and Tampa and also here in Raleigh and taught, various independent art classes. But
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
yeah,
Yes, it's
so
rewarding.
I try to give it back
I've
and I'm sure
enjoyed.
you agree. I
Yeah,
learn
I'm
from my
taught at
students.
the women's prison. I went in
Mhm.
there, oh gosh, for about 10 years until COVID hit. And but it's so rewarding to go in there and just take them out of that place for a couple hours, and they just, you know,
Yes, I'm sure they
weren't
appreciate
there.
that. I mean, because when you're in that creative space, we talk about that a lot on the show about being in the zone, so to speak. When you're in that space of creation, it's like everything else falls away and you're just there, doing what you're supposed to be doing in my mind. Um,
Yes.
so do you have a favorite story from the any student? Could be the prison or not. Do you have a favorite student story?
Oh my. I wasn't quite prepared for
Oh, that's
this
okay.
question.
No, you can think about it. We can come
Yeah,
back
I
to
need to
it.
think about that
Okay.
because there's several.
Okay. So how about do you write in short form at all, like blogs or articles or anything? Do you do that? No.
No, no,
Okay.
I haven't.
And do you set up a routine to write? Like do you journal every day? Do you
No.
no?
Yeah, I
What's
don't have a
your
routine. We recently went on a cruise,
mhm.
and so I didn't want to pack around my computer, so I actually hand wrote a lot of what I'm going to put in the next book. I've got a second book, and I
Okay.
have to catch up on 50 years on that one, so
Oh,
it's going
geez.
to be a while.
Yeah.
But
No,
I've
that's
started
great.
it. It's underway, and it's near the end because my husband and I are going to be celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary. So I
Con
hope to release it soon after
congratulations.
that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
No, that's
Yeah.
great. So on the cruise ship, how did you get involved with that? Like
Well,
teaching
once
art?
again, I wasn't even looking for that job, and someone asked me, "Would you be interested in teaching art on the cruise ship?" And I'm going like, "Yeah, twist my arm." So
That's
once again,
great.
God intervened and just dropped it in my lap, and I give him the glory for it. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So let's go to the life choices. Can you just tell us briefly what the book is about in general? Like, what take us
Okay.
through.
Well, it's a battle of, what we all go through, especially young people. What kind of prompted it was when we retired, we started going to Florida for the winters. And a lot of the waiters and waitresses were young people, and we talked to them, and I could tell they were didn't have a goal or purpose like I did, and so I at first started thinking about being a life coach, and I researched that, and I thought, well, that's going to take some time and some money, and then I heard the Lord speaking, and some people don't think you do, but maybe it's just my conscience that was telling me. He said, I gave you the tools, use them. I said,
That's right.
okay. So then I just started like young people, drugs, alcohol, prostitution, I mean, greed, envy, you name it, all of it. In fact, one of the paintings I did and why he gave me this was a roulette wheel. And in this roulette wheel was a combination of seven deadly sins and nine fruits of the spirit. And I interspersed them, and
Oh,
then I
great.
and then I put a wheel, and it landed. I made it land on love because
Mm.
love is the greatest of them all.
Yeah, it is. That's great. So
Yeah.
the book is about the fruits of the spirit and the seven deadly sins together.
Well, that particular piece is, and yeah, I
Okay.
guess the whole book. I hadn't thought of it that way, but yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So that's called Life Choices, and we'll put the information again for both books and all of Elaine's information in the description so that whoever wants to get a hold of her can. Thank you so much, Elaine, for your time today. I appreciate you, and that was just wonderful conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Feel free to nominate yourself or someone you know as our next guest. Thank you for being a part of our creative community. Stay inspired and keep shining bright.